Alright guys, in this video I'm looking at the Lansky Sharpening Systems and comparing the differences between the Standard, the Deluxe, the Standard Diamond and the Deluxe Diamond. So this is the non-diamond deluxe version. You get 5 stones: extra coarse, coarse, medium, fine, ultra fine. They also do a cheaper standard version. In the standard you just get the coarse, the medium and the fine stone. You get 5 rails, 1 for each stone. You get your clamp and you get your cleaning oil. Now, it's actually cleaning oil, not lubricating oil. So you want to use this to clean your stones when they stop cutting, when they get clogged with metal. So this would be the Diamond Deluxe. You get extra coarse, coarse, medium and fine diamond. They also do a standard diamond as well. The difference between that and the deluxe is you don't get the extra coarse. You'd also get 4 rails, not 5. If you bought the standard, you only get 3 rails and 3 stones. We'll take the medium and the medium with the non-diamond. Just have a look at the difference. Take the extra coarse as well. The diamond does feel a lot rougher, but it shouldn't be because they're both the same coarseness. They're both 70 grit. You might notice as well, in these kits you get different clamps, only slightly different variations on the clamp. This is the clamp out of my other kit. This is the old clamp, just for the differences. They also do another one where it seems to be recessed a little bit so the head of the screw can be a bit lower. This silver one has a little notch in the end for trying to put the knife in. This one's completely flush. They also do another one where you get rubber feet on the end. I'd say avoid that one because all the reviews of people using that one say the rubbers come off after a very little amount of use. So avoid the one with rubber on the end. If you're using a knife where you don't want to mark the knife, put a bit of tape on there. Right, what I'm doing, I'm sharpening this little vegetable knife. It is crazy blunt. This is crazy blunt. Even hacking at this paper, it's crazy blunt. So I'm going to be using my Deluxe non-diamond kit for this one. Now the clamp, where you want to hold it in the clamp, and put the knife in the end of the clamp. Open these screws up. Put the clamp roughly in the middle of the blade. Snip the first screw up. Now what you want to do when you're clamping with this clamp, you want to try and make the gap completely even all the way down if this blade, the part where you're holding on it, is not tapered. For example, if the gap's narrow at the back, you're likely to be holding on this little point here, very slightly. If the gap's greater at the back, you're likely to be holding on just the very tip of the clamp. Not only can this mark your blade if you're bothered about that, but you're also putting less pressure on the clamp. You want it, if you can, holding on the whole face, and then it shouldn't work its way loose as easy when you're doing the job. So you nip these up. As you tighten this one up, it's spreading this gap a little bit more, making like a fulcrum here. As it opens the back up, it's pressing this together. I'm putting a lot more pressure on the blade. And the next thing I recommend buying with this Lansky kit as well is the mount. If you don't buy the mount, the way they recommend to do it is you hold it like this and use a stone on it by hand, and it makes it quite difficult and quite awkward. It can be done. It's still definitely doable that way, but you will find if you use the mount, it'll make the sharpening kit just feel a whole lot better, a whole lot easier to use, because it can be quite awkward. And another little tip, I'd recommend getting an old scrap piece of wood, screwing this base down onto it, just to make the whole thing more stable. So I'm just going to screw this to my base. Okay, and then the base just sits on the wood, nice and stable. And then the unit, it just pushes in the hole. And it's just a more stable platform, makes it a lot more easy to do. I'm going to do the other side, just pulls off, and you do the other side. Okay, now for your stones, you want to take your stones, do this for them all. Take a rail as well, push the rail into the hole. Now you want to lay it flat on the bench and tighten the screw. Now you also want to look, this one is, the rail wants to be exactly in line with the stone. You do that by laying it on the bench. You can check, and if it's not, you just bend it a little bit. Until it's lying totally flat. Okay, in the side view, just make it a little bit clearer. Put your rail and your stone, lay them both on a flat surface, nip it up so it's in line with your stone, and should you have a gap at the front or the back, for example, you can see now I've got a slight gap at this end, you just bend your rail very slightly until it lies completely flat. I notice these have actually got a brass insert for the thread, so you're not actually screwing into the plastic, so you shouldn't strip the thread too easily. So do the same for all your stones. Getting the rails even on all of them will help you maintain the same angle between the different stones. That gives you 4 different holes for 4 different angles. You've got 17 degrees, 20 degrees, 25 and 30. Obviously take it with a pinch of salt, because the further away your blade is, the more acute the angle is going to be, so it's just an idea. Your most acute angle is more for sort of like razor blades and really sharp cutting knives, more of a delicate edge but extremely sharp. As you go up they get more durable. 25 seems to be your most common for like pocket knives and things like that, and 30 degrees is tends to have like chopping knives and the most durable. So for this blade I'm actually going to make it about 25 degrees. It's a vegetable knife used for chopping, so it doesn't need to be an extremely fine edge. Because it's the first time I've sharpened this blade and I'm going to be reprofiling it, I'm going to use the extra coarse. This knife hasn't been sharpened in millions and millions of years. Not literally. So what I'm doing, I'm grinding in. Grinding into the blade and lifting up for the return. Keeping my fingers on the top. I mean, as it's made, you naturally want to keep your fingers on the top anyway, but you certainly don't want to be slipping. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on it, just a little bit of a downward pressure with your finger. Kind of want to move across the knife at the same time. Use as much of the length of the stone as you can. At the same time sweep across the blade. You don't want to be going up and down in the same spot like that, because you'll just start grinding away at one little point and make a mess of your blade. Maybe times when you need to do that, but just for sharpening a normal blade, you want to be going sweeping across at the same time. Okay. What I'm doing now, just using your fingernail on the other side. You're feeling for a little step, it's called a burr, that wants to start pushing down, and when you feel that burr, you know you've got to the very edge. Grinding it only inwards like this gives you less of a burr, which is a good thing. You don't want a massive burr, but the little burr that you have at the end, you want to try and get as sharp as you can. If you can start honing the burr with the leather, that's when you get incredibly sharp blades. very slight burr in the odd places, but rather than keep going, I'm going to turn it over and do the other side because I don't want to take all the material off just one side. So I've almost got a burr. You also see people as well, they're using the hand at the back to try and push it to the top because they're rattling all over the place, changing angle. I find I don't have a problem with that. If I just maintain a very slight downward pressure, it always stays on the bottom. I've never found it an issue. Points can be quite difficult as you want to go over the point. Sometimes you can start rounding the very tip, which you don't want to do. I mean, it's not really important on this particular knife, but try not to fall off the edge and keep rounding this point. So yeah, I've got a very slight burr on most of it, just not quite at the back. I'm not actually putting all that much pressure on. I don't think it needs a lot of pressure. Plus, if you are putting a lot of pressure on it, it's quite dangerous. If you slip, you're going to send your fingers straight into the blade. So not use a lot of pressure, just take your time, let the stone do the work. So just had to change battery in my camera. I'm just about done now with the extra course. I've got a very tiny burr all the way down, which means I've reached the edge. And it looks about the same on either side. So hopefully I've took the same amount of material for either side. So now I'm going to progress with the finer and finer courses. So this one's the course. What we're basically doing now is just trying to grind out the extra coarse lines. I keep changing direction just to go across the lines that I've already made. Be careful because it's very easy to slip off the end and start rounding your point over, specifically wanting a good point. But also for the point to actually work towards the point, not inwards. And try not to roll off it when you do reach the point. Again, I'm only grinding inwards. On the return, I'm lifting it up. I'm only applying a very slight amount of pressure, barely anything. Turn it over and do the same to the other side. Still got a very slight there. I'm going to progress with the next one down. Now I've got the medium stones, 280 grit. So I'll turn it over. And again, now we're trying to grind out the coarse stone. Okay, just grinding in, I've barely got any spare at all. And I've gone to the end. So now I'm doing it with the fine grit. So if you find your stones getting a bit full like this one, and you feel like you're just rubbing on it and not cutting, it's because your stone's getting clogged like this one. And this is what your oil's for. A couple of drops of oil on your stone. What this oil does, if you rub it along, what it's doing, you're trying to lift the particles of metal out of the stone. You can see it all on my finger how black it is. Let's work it in, let it lift all the metal out. Then use a tissue or a cloth to wipe it off. You can see how much cleaner the stone is. And you can continue. Finally, the ultra fine. This is 1000 grit stone. Okay, now I'm just finishing up, just on the extra fine, the ultra fine. I'm just giving it 3 or 4 passes on each side and then turning it back over. Just for the microscopic bit, just try and make it as even as I can. I don't have a strop. I'm not sure how sharp it's going to be without a strop. If you see the videos where people have then stropped it at the end, they get them incredibly sharp. So we'll see how sharp I can get it without using a strop. Even without the strop, it's going to be quite sharp. Okay, I'll do it one more time and then we'll call it and see how sharp I've actually got it. Just really light passes, barely putting any pressure on it at all. Barely touching it. Alright. Let's take it out of the clamp and see how sharp I got it. So try the standard paper test. I think that's not bad considering I haven't stropped it. A lot of people like to see will it shave hair. I haven't really got the light in this direction. Not sure if I'll shave hair with not strop, but I'll give it a go anyway. I ain't shaving hair. It's difficult to see, but it's a vegetable knife. See how it cuts this tomato. Really easily. Try extremely slow. So it's very sharp. Anyway, this little vegetable knife is a lot sharper than it used to be. It's actually razor sharp now. It's not even being stropped. Might get a strop in the future, see how sharp I can get it, but to be honest, for a vegetable knife this is as sharp as I'll ever need it, but you know, it's fun making it as sharp as you can. I hope you enjoyed this video anyway. Hope you found it informative. Check out my next video. I'm actually going to sharpen this other kitchen knife. Absolutely blunt as well, completely blunt. You can see the size difference. See how this Lansky system is. It's sharpening quite big knives, bigger blades. I'll also try it with the diamond stone as well. See what difference diamond stone is. It's absolutely blunt, this knife. Again, I want reprofiling. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you liked it, give it a like and please subscribe to see more videos. And thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.